Oh, hello there. Yes, well, it's Thursday. It's still pretty rainy, but it's still pretty Easter holes too, which isn't bad. Yes, anyway, yesterday for about, well, the day really, I was sort of thinking to myself, well, there must be some form of action that is going to be taken around British citizens being killed in an aid convoy in Gaza. And in essence, there hasn't been any. If you look at the kind of newspapers, especially from yesterday, whilst they all ran the story on their front cover, the comments are incredibly mooted. You get one comment piece in the Daily Telegraph, which kind of suggests that just maybe Israel should, try a bit harder. The Mirror and the Guardian ran pieces which were along the lines of peace. There's, as far as I can make out, nothing was in the Times or the Independent or the Express. I haven't bothered looking at the others about this. Now, the problem, as there always is with the British media, is that they set themselves off on a merry little path which becomes the narrative. And then we discover pretty rapidly that the narrative is completely wrong. But of course, they can't be wrong, because by the time we the rest of us, have fully understood that the narrative is wrong, they have invested too much in it, and probably the apogee of this was Julia Hartley-Brewer yesterday. I mean, this is just astounding what she's put up. Okay, on her talk TV, talk radio, is it? I don't know what it is. Rapidly going to close down talk station yesterday. She just wasn't having it that there was anything wrong. I mean, you get this as her tweet. It was a terrible, tragic mistake. The IDF mistakenly targeted the WCK vehicles because they thought they were Hamas fighters. They don't deny the attack, and they've apologised. I'm looking forward to Hamas's apology for all the civilians they target. Ooh. Yeah, and she's reprinted that from Jake Wallace-Simpson, who has been engaged in the last 24 hours with an enormously high level of whataboutery. Well, he might well be complaining about buildings being bombed, but look, this is what the Americans did in Iraq. Yes, I know, but it wasn't genocidal. They weren't trying to erase an entire people. That makes it just slightly different, even if buildings blown up look identical, no matter where you are. And this is, of course, once again goes to the utter soullessness of so-called British journalism, because these people cannot possibly think outside their own particular box. So because Israel is good, therefore it must be good. End of. Yeah? It must be that reality is wrong. And, I do think that I mean, even yesterday you had Labour Party spokespeople that couldn't bring themselves to say that they might just kind of think about not selling arms to Israel. Maybe. Yeah? I mean, think about all of those things that have gone disastrously wrong in the last 10 years. Think about Brexit. No real discussion in the British media, not even mentioned at all. Think about, in the 2017 and 2019 elections, when you were told that you had to vote for the Conservatives because it would be disastrous if we didn't. And now we are told that the Tories are a bit disastrous across the board. Suddenly, the thing that, most of us woke up to about 40 years ago has occurred to the Commentariat. But they will still urge you that it's too dangerous to vote for an extremely right-wing person like Keir Starmer, who's pledged to do nothing. I mean, imagine if he carried out that do-nothing pledge. It would be awful, wouldn't it? Anyway, yes. But these people are just such charlatans. Not all of them. I mean, I was really pleased to see this yesterday from John Simpson, and somebody I have grown up with, one might say, a man I have the most utter and undue respect for, who posted this, which is what a journalist would do. Over the years, I've lost two friends, one Palestinian, one Lebanese, and nearly lost the third, a French cameraman, to the willingness of the IDF soldiers to open fire even though they knew perfectly well who they were. But they still felt sure their superiors would protect them. Yeah, there you go. Now, all of that is fact. All of that is indisputable. If you read any of his books about the Middle East, most of his autobiographical stuff covers various things about the Middle East. It's very worthwhile reading. He's a guy who went there. You can't accuse him of being a lefty, no matter how much you try. He's certainly not an apologist for any form of terrorist, but by God, he knows when people are doing the wrong thing. Yeah, it's no longer good enough for the British press to go on about things being a tragedy. No, right, okay, when you herd people into a pit and shoot them, it's a tragedy for the people that are being shot, but it's something else entirely in legal terms. Anyway, yeah, that was Thursday's comment from me. Not afraid to go there. I think the Daily Express is. Anyway, do have a lovely one if you can. And, yeah, stay dry, basically, once again.